Hello everyone, it is Melody and I am coming at you live from, you already know. So today we are going to be talking about the not so wonderful things about living abroad. Now, I don't want to be negative, and I'm not going to be negative. I feel like it's not productive, it doesn't help anybody. But I want to paint a realistic picture because I feel like just looking at the videos that I have, I kind of talk about the benefits, the good things, why you should come here, which I still 5,000% stand by. I believe if this is something that you're interested in, you should absolutely pursue it. But before I came, I wish I would have kind of found a video like this talking about the more difficult aspects, you know, the things that I more than likely will run into, things that they struggle with while abroad. So that's the goal here. We're not being Debbie Downers, we're being well-rounded Rebeccas and realistic Rosalind. So yeah, if you're interested in knowing the not so great things about living in Korea, keep watching. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. The first thing is a little bit obvious, but loneliness, isolation. This kind of is two-handed. How does it? Double-sided? How do we say it? So on one hand, okay, there we go. So on one hand, we have lonely and isolated, and this can be just in life. You know, you're living in another country. Luckily for me, I connected with people at my orientation that I was at when I first got to Korea. By the grace of God, they were placed in the same city as me, and only God could have orchestrated that. I had no control over any of that. So in that aspect, like friends-wise, I haven't really experienced that like loneliness or isolation, but I know that it happens. I know that it's very easy for you to be placed in a city where there are a small amount of foreigners and you don't really connect with any of them. And also, I mean, there's a possibility that you just don't meet anybody or you have a hard time meeting people. Yeah, I mean, it happens. It didn't happen to me, but it definitely happens. And so that's that one side, like just in general, like your day-to-day life outside of school, you can feel lonely and isolated. And then the other side of that is feeling lonely and isolated at school. And that is something that I often feel because I teach at 3 different schools, and the atmosphere at every school is different. One of my schools, a lot of the teachers are more likely to come and interact with me and engage with me. And at one of my other schools, they're not. So the amount of people that I can talk to has just gone from like 20, including, you know, all the faculty members, to like 3, because those are the only other English teachers. So I just have those moments where everyone is talking in Korean around me. And this partly is my fault because I didn't study Korean. I had all the intentions to, and then, you know, just life just happens and I never really got around to it. So I'll just be sitting there, especially at lunchtime, I can't lie. Lunch is a little difficult sometimes. Everyone's talking. I'm with my co-teacher who does speak English, who I'm able to communicate with, but she's around all the other Korean faculty members. Everyone's talking in Korean. They might be laughing and you're just kind of like sitting there in your mind, like picking, well for me, in my mind, picking up little teeny tiny words that I do recognize and like trying to put it together, but not really. And you just feel like you're there, but you're in your own little world. So that is definitely a very real thing and something that I have kind of had to get over and kind of not expect to change, if that makes sense. So it's real, that lonely and isolation. So that is going to be our first one, our first, you know, negative. So the next thing on our list, this is going to be judgments. Now, specifically judgments from people back home, not people here in Korea. But that is another, you know, thing in itself. So I feel like, I mean, anything you do in life, people are gonna have an opinion, people are gonna form judgments. But the judgments that I get here, they just feel a little bit extra disrespectful, to be honest. One that is something that has been told to me, it's the assumption that I'm taking time off from life. Like, my life here isn't my real life. My life back home is my real life, and I'm taking time off from living my real life or taking a break from the real world or from real life. It is offensive to me because it's not like I'm not working. Like, I still go to work 5 days a week. That kind of judgment that my life isn't real right now because I'm not in America doing what you're doing. My life is very real, and like my grind is very real, and my life just looks different than yours, and that's okay. okay? And I talk about your life, so, you know, let's just understand each other. Yeah. So the next thing that is a difficulty about living abroad is maintaining relationships. I'm talking more about like your family relationships and your friendships. So in that sense, maintaining relationships, this is difficult. It is not something that is just going to like magically work itself out. Like you're going to have to put forth effort to stay in contact with people. Just in itself, the time difference. It's not like you're at least in the same country, so the time difference is maybe 3 hours off max. My current time difference between my family in Florida is 13 hours. So that in itself, like coordinating when to talk, that is difficult. And another level of that is the fact that you are not there for so many things. You just realize like, yes, while your life is progressing and while you are learning and growing and doing all these things you want to do, people back home, they're also learning and growing and moving, and their life is still continuing. And sometimes it's hard for me to remember that because you're out of the loop, you know, but you can't help it. And you have to learn to accept it and kind of like figure out how you can evolve your relationship. So I feel like the dynamics of the relationship will absolutely change because you are no longer there. And the things that, you know, that you could talk about before, you're not experiencing those same things anymore. So it's just, you have to put forth more effort. And another aspect of it is something that I've run into is I'm the first person in my immediate family that has moved out of the country and lived there. No one's ever done this before, so there's not like a manual on like how to navigate this. So we're all trying to figure it out as we're going, and that is a work in progress. If I like 100%, it's a work in progress. A big part of it is, yes, your family, they want you to be happy and to, you know, follow your dreams and do what you want to do, but at the same time they might have like an area in their heart that would absolutely really like you to be home. So they kind of have that confliction. Confliction, is that a word? They're kind of conflicted. So like they can feel conflicted in that manner. And I mean, that's totally natural and like valid. But you, on the other hand, you kind of have to learn how to navigate that, navigate how you feel, what you want to do, and also their expectations, because they are important to you. And like, you know, they're your family and you want to make them happy and for them to be proud of you. And so it's just, it's a road you have to learn how to navigate. You have to put way more effort into maintaining those important relationships. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's of course worth it because those are your loved ones and, you know, you would do anything for them. So, yeah. So we are going to end the video on this note. Being more or less misunderstood in everything. So by that I mean, just language barrier wise, I am misunderstood. But even when I talk to Koreans that do speak English, even my co-teachers that are like English teachers that speak English and also speak Korean and, you know, teach English, there is not complete understanding when we speak. It's just on both ends, there's a little bit of miscommunication. You know, it's a little bit skewed. And for me, it's not aggravating, but it's just like, it's like a bummer, to be honest. Like you're being heard, but you're not being felt. Maybe that's the thing. I don't know how to explain it. So on that end, like actually like linguistically, I'm not understood, and also because I don't really speak Korean. And then on top of that, me as like a Black woman, I'm not understood in the sense of like, I'm not common. There aren't a lot of me here. So I think that if someone has a lot of exposure to someone or a certain type of person, they have more understanding of that person. But because I am not common in the sense of like a Black woman, I am not common, there is not a lot of exposure with me. So there are a lot of things that are not understood about me. And a big part of that is my hair. It is something that, yeah, it really kind of bothers me. And to be honest, like this hairstyle I wear, I try to keep it as conservative as I can throughout the week just to keep the stares at bay and to like not have to hear anything about my hair. And like, I don't even particularly love this hairstyle. I mean, it is easy, but I do it because this is something that doesn't cause any extra attention to me. If I wore my hair in the way that I prefer to wear my hair, which is like down and out, I only did that one time here in Yeongju, and I'll never wear my hair out here again. Like I was just completely and totally misunderstood. Now let me say, I know I looked cute. I know I looked cute. But these people would look at me like, 1, what did I do? 2, why did I do this? 3, this has to be an accident. She couldn't mean to do this. Like, they just don't understand. And I can't explain to them like, hey, this actually is a really cute hairstyle. You know, I can't explain it, but to them, I'm just not, they just didn't understand. They don't understand. And like wearing my hair like in a puff, like they don't understand. To them, they think I look like a pineapple. And they tell me that. They think it's okay to tell me that. Like, they don't think that I find that offensive. It's okay. I'm getting off topic. But yeah, so in that aspect, I'm just like misunderstood. It's kind of like something that's not really gonna go away, and it's something that you kind of just learn how to be okay with. I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out, but it's definitely a bummer. It's definitely something that's more difficult about being here, especially for me, because the type of person I am. It's like, I just really like understanding. I like being on the same page as someone. I like that kind of thing. So I don't get that here. And it's just like, I can't get that here. So yeah, that is that. So yeah, all right guys, so that's going to be it for me. These are the not so wonderful things about living abroad, about living in Korea. I hope you found this video helpful. I tried to keep it as informative. I don't want to be too emotional about it, you know, I want to keep it factual. And again, remember, we're not going for Debbie Downers, we're going for well-rounded Rebeccas and realistic Rosalinds. So yeah, hopefully that goal was achieved. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to down below. And if you have any questions about the things I was talking about in this video, leave me a comment and I will definitely get back to you. And I hope you have a wonderful one. I will see you guys later. 안녕히 계세요. Ooh, my voice. Peace. Today, we will be talking about skincare. All things having to do with my skincare routine. Honestly, I was putting my like products, you know, gathering them all for this video. I had no idea how many Korean products I use. And this basically is like a Korean